How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is William. This is June 18, I think. Yeah, June 18, 2023. I'm coming to y'all with some updated information. I'm gonna prepare y'all for my next video. And my next video, I'm preparing y'all for. I'll go ahead and give you some insight highlights about the next video. It's about Reese Saunders, a district attorney of Richmond County, North Carolina. Let me just give you some highlights. Michelle Wall broke into my house twice when she left me in 2017, November 2017. Risana didn't never press the charge. She broke in my house the first time with the sheriff officer with her. Then she came back a second time and broke into my house a second time by herself. Had witness to that, turned that over to the district attorney's office, the investigator. Came back to me later and said, well, district attorneys, they said they're not going to press no charge against your wife or whatever, and they didn't. So I'm just saying, well, let me go back before that too, because I missed one. I went to, this is when Clemens was sheriff. I took a video to Clemens about his sheriff and how they did, and coming into my house and all that type of stuff. So I took it to Clemens, right? And Clemens, I believe that's about the first, well, let me just put it this way. Clemens told me straight up when I gave him that video, he said, look, I'm not going to investigate my own officers. He said, but I'll tell you what I will do. I will sign off and turn it over to the district attorney's office for further investigation. Never heard anything about that. Now, that's two things. All right, then let's move on along to what was Michelle assaulted me numerous times. Okay, she was found guilty for the second assault and did 18 months on probation. And this is during the same time we're going through custody battle now. I just want y'all to know that so y'all can understand where I'm coming from and how the Reese Saunders is a racist, prejudiced racist against the Wall family. Okay, she did her 18 months on probation. She assaulted me again while on probation. 2018, December 2018? She assaulted me again and on the DSS camera. They own camera at DSS. I went to court back there with that woman for about 5 years and was the plaintiff. And Reese Saunders turned around and dropped that charge against her after about 5 years of going to court and not even acknowledging it to me of anything from that district attorney's office. Another signal that he's a racist. You understand? He's a biased racist person. Now let's move on along. After that, then we got a situation where my daughter was arrested down at the sheriff department. At the time, I was voluntarily turning myself in. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Why would I voluntarily turn myself in if I'm gonna resist the officer? It don't make no sense now, do it? Exactly. So yeah, let me say. So yeah, that don't make no sense, do it. So let me tell you what happened then. While I was down in the jail, while they were processing me, my daughters come in there and they arrested my daughters for what I don't know. So anyway, let me just put it to y'all this way. Like I said, I'm just give y'all some highlights. My daughters end up, the sheriff department ended up sexually assaulting my daughters, and abusing and falsely arrested them. And that was due to Holly Smith, which was the magistrate at the time. Now, I'll give you another highlight. So my daughter ended up going to the hospital and everything. Just giving y'all some highlights. And it was reported to Reese Saunders that my daughter had been sexually assaulted and everything by 4 different Richmond County sheriff officers. And at that time was under Clemens control. But really, you know what I say? It was under Gullish control, but Clemens was the sheriff at that time. Y'all get where I'm going, right? So the officer never was investigated. Reese Saunders didn't investigate after full acknowledgement from professionals. Now listen out, y'all understand when I say professionals, because my daughter had to go to the hospital and everything. And so by professional reportedly contacted Reese Saunders, gave the information, contacted the sheriff office, gave the information about what took place, what happened, and made statements. Reese Saunders, as a district attorney of Richmond County, didn't never investigate, never did anything, never did nothing. You know, so tell me so that not clearly showing how racist he is? You know what I'm saying? He never investigated the sheriff department because you know why, y'all? I'm going to go ahead and tell you why. Because Richmond grew up around here. He know everybody around here. He's a district attorney. He get to pick and choose whatever he want to do as a district attorney's district attorney here. He can to some of the ones on the sheriff department. All of them is kin and got family to one another. So, of course, he's not going to investigate nobody at the sheriff department because he cans and friends to him. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Which is why he shouldn't have never, ever been a district attorney here in Richmond County. He should have been a neutral. D. Parker should have stayed a district attorney here because he was a neutral person. He didn't personally know no officers here or anything. So that make your job a conflict when you can't sit there and do your job appropriately and rightly based on the evidence. See, now the evidence suggests that Reese Saunders should have charged those 4 officers at that Richmond County Sheriff Department and charged them with criminally charged. And more than that, they should have been fired first, then charged. But see, they don't only do nothing about something until something happened under the table. Then they let stuff under the table get by. They're like Holly Smith, where she tried to bribe the doggone district attorney. Well, she bribed the district attorney down in Wadesboro, North Carolina, you know, to try to make a deal concerning the Wall family. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up. They didn't let her get fired, but you know what they did? They let her resign to keep from firing her butt. But it still don't erase the fact and junk that wicked woman did. You understand what I'm saying? As a magistrate of Richmond County. So, and Amanda Wilson didn't do nothing about it. All those wrote statements concerning that Harley Smith, Amanda Smith didn't do nothing about it. That's just what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I want y'all to get to understand. Is how the district attorney's office has deliberately, you know, hurt me and my family and the stuff. And the justice don't prevail here in Richmond County. Justice don't prevail. The wrong, evil, maggot, bastard people here is what prevail. They prevail in the eyesight though, but they don't prevail any other kind of way. You know, they sit back, all of them can, from the top to the bottom, you know what I'm saying? And they work, tell me y'all something. Y'all remember that situation with the Steen and when they assaulted that guy to Richmond Senior High School, and then they're going to arrest them like they did something wrong. They was the one that was tased by the Richmond County Sheriff Department and all that. Yeah, they end up settling out of court. That settlement, they end up settling for a great amount of money, you know, because you know what? But they kept it under the table and under wraps. You know, see, anything that sheriff department up there doing wrong, and that's under the hand of Gullich, and which me knowing personally, it's been under the hand of Gullich. It's been under the hand of Gullich for a long, even when Clement was sheriff. Gullich's been running that sheriff department before Clement died. You know what I'm saying? And then look what they do. They appoint him as sheriff. Let me tell you how much they cared about Clement at that sheriff department. They appointed Gullich sheriff on the same day they were having his funeral. They appointed Gullich. Out of all the days that they could have appointed him as sheriff, they waited till the day of the funeral to appoint Gullich as sheriff of Richmond County Sheriff Department. What do y'all think of that? Out of all the days now, they could have appointed him sheriff right after he died. They could have appointed him as sheriff before his funeral. They could have even appointed him sheriff after his funeral. But why they did it on the same day? Y'all better watch these prejudiced racist people. That's what they do. They appointed Gullich sheriff the same day Clement sheriff was. The Clement funeral was. The same day. They up in the office when they should be, you know, doing, you know what I'm talking about. When they supposed to be doing what's right, they up there appointing Gullich the sheriff at the Richmond County Sheriff Department on the same day Clement's funeral was. Ain't that something, y'all? The same day. That lets you know how much they cared about Clemens up there, right? Them white people. It lets you know how much they care about Clemens up there. You know, which me, I mean, you know, I ain't gonna go into nothing personal about it, but I just want y'all to know that how wicked and racist that sheriff department is, how wicked and racist that district attorney Risana is. He ain't doing his job up there to help the innocent and prosecute the criminals. Because them 4 officers that assaulted my daughters, they certainly was criminals, and he didn't prosecute them, didn't even investigate them. And after having all of the knowledge of investigating and firing those officers, Gullich could have fired those officers. Even when he took control, full control, he could have fired those officers. But you know they can. You know, that's the thing about officers up there in that sheriff department and with the justice system made up here in Richmond County, they all kin and family members. Reson ain't got a bit of business being a sheriff or district attorney in Richmond County than anybody. Anybody, you know, that ain't there. A district attorney need to be somebody that's not from there, for one, and don't know nobody in Richmond County, and come in here with a bright vision of protecting the innocent and prosecuting the wicked. Now, that's the kind of vision that a district attorney need to have here in Richmond County, not to be personal like Reese Saunders and racist like Reese Saunders is. Reese Saunders is a prejudiced, racist district attorney here in Richmond County. And he gonna hurt people until he get out of that office. He gonna keep on hurting people until he is removed out of that office. I'm telling y'all voters, when it come time, y'all get rid of his butt out of there, because he ain't gonna do nothing but keep hurting black people and hurt white, and he hurt white people too. And you know the kind of white people that y'all heard it back in the day, the white people they call trash, trailer trash. Y'all know how they use them terms. Them the one that he'll prosecute, but the one that's up the ladder with him, and the one that he care about, he ain't gonna prosecute them. He racist. He racist in the justice, and he racist being, you know, here's my thing. That's like I was telling y'all about Trump. I don't care if that man racist 24 hours a day, but you took a job to uphold the job of the state of North Carolina and Richmond County to protect the innocent, prosecute the wicked. He ain't made the oath. He ain't did nothing. He ain't protecting the innocent. He protecting the innocent who he want to protect that's wrong. And 9 times out of 10, he protecting the innocent that violates the law. He ain't protecting the innocent that's been violated. And I want to let y'all know that that's some dirty junk up there, that sheriff department. There's some dirty junk in that district attorney's office. And I ain't going to say everybody in there dirty, but I'm going to just tell you the head in there is dirty. Like I told y'all, I can't say nothing about that hair, because I ain't really seen nothing going on. I ain't seen him really do nothing either, but I still can't speak. I'm only speaking on the facts that I know. And I know these facts about Reese Saunders. I know these facts about Gulledge. And so I'm going to speak on those facts. You know, after Gulledge took off, he could have fired those sheriffs for assaulting my daughters, you know, and falsely locking them up. He could have fired every one of them. But they still got their job, Smith. And I think that Smith officer and Holly Smith, I think they can. You know, y'all watch out for the last name that y'all hear coming through that sheriff department. Look at them last names. Pay attention to them, the last name, not the first name. Pay attention to them last names. You got Holly Smith that was a manager. Then you got the Smith work for the sheriff department. Put it together. Put your dots together. What that tell you? You know what I'm saying? So, and then you got a sheriff of Richmond County that ain't doing nothing to protect the innocent. He ain't doing it. They personal. Y'all see it? Well, I done showed y'all videos of how the sheriff come on with New World Auto Sale call out, you know, and they cause embarrassment. You know, they cause all kinds of mischief they come to a place of business and they cause trouble, and they make trouble and cause customers to go away from New World Auto Sales, and they have personally directly caused that. But I'm gonna highlight y'all. I'm gonna come down to the facts, more facts, when I come back to you with the next video to let y'all know, man. Gulledge need to be gone. I'm talking about now, yesterday, last month, last year. He need to be out of that sheriff department, along with children need to be gone with him. You know, and a lot of them sheriffs under him that he know he can count on need to be gone too. All of them need to be gone. Resigning that clerk office. A lot of them in that clerk's office up there need to be gone. You know what I'm saying? And the whole system need to be overhauled and get rid of all them wicked jokers up there that's pulling their hand against and hurting innocent people. Because I'm an innocent person that they hurting, so I can talk like that. Because I ain't one. I know I ain't the only one. I know a lot of y'all has been innocent and got hurt by that sheriff department or that district attorney's office. I know. So if y'all ever need to contact me. Because we can get together. Believe me, we can get together and we can rally and we can do all that. Because we need these wicked people not to be in the office here in Richmond County. You know, and then you got a lot of people under the table hurting you too. Don't just think that who you can see hurting you. So I can see Reese Saunders hurting me. I can see Gulledge hurting me. But how about the ones you don't see that runs things? That's what you got to pay attention to. You know, older people always said, you don't got to watch that dog that you see barking. Because you always know where that dog at. Because you hear him barking, and you ain't got to be scared of him because you see that dog barking. So one, you better be worried about that dog that you don't see barking, that's sneaking up on you. That's the same way here in Richmond County. Watch out for them dogs that you don't hear barking. Them the ones you better watch out for, because the one that you hear barking, you see what they doing. See, that's like me. I see what Reese Saunders doing. I see what Good is doing. But she got a lot of them maggots under the table that's eating at me. Commissioners, people that you just don't think is directors of the DSS. That's why a whole lot of junk Michelle got away with. See, Michelle, if lawfully right, Michelle would have been under the jail. She would have been in a mental institution from what she have done to me and our children. She would have been in a mental institution, and they would have ordered her not to even be around our children from the stuff that she has done. Y'all seen all the videos from the stuff that she has done to me, assaulted me, but then you had Sophia Crawford coming on after knowing all this now, gonna take my kids from a good parent and give them to a bad parent. A parent, let me put it this way, a parent that she already had knowledge of assaulted me, put 18 months on probation, and had the knowledge of knowing that she assaulted me in front of the DSS parking lot and our children. So how do I lose my kids to a woman like that? Tell me. It's a prejudice. It's a racist, it's prejudice. And I'm saying because Sophia Crawford is black. She's a racist, prejudiced judge. She should have never, ever been appointed by the governor. She never, ever should have been appointed. There'd be no judge in Richmond County, because that's a nasty, wicked judge. And to me personally, she is not a judge at all. She ain't but a wicked person. She's a pawn to be moved. She's a pawn, like playing chess. You can move that pawn any way you want to move it. That's what kind of person she is. She's a pawn. She ain't got no strength because she's a pawn. See, the bishop got strength, the queen got strength, but she don't got strength. She just a pawn where she been moved wherever she want, wherever they want to move her. They move her this way. They tell her to do this, she do it. They tell her to do that, she do it. They tell her to do this, she do it. She's a pawn. Now, that's what I'm telling y'all. Listen to me when I tell y'all this. And wait for the next video, because I got a whole lot of stuff to come at y'all with that district turn on the wickedness they have done to the Walls family, the wickedness that they continue to do as to the date now. Yes. And see, they don't like a person like me to talk up and to defend themselves. They don't like that. They don't like a person like me and people like me to speak up for themselves and to call them out, them wicked bastards up there. They don't want you to, they don't want to be called out by somebody like me. They ain't got a crime on me nowhere, no kind of crime at all. But they use something to get at me anyway. And that's exactly what they're doing. So they want to use child support to get at me, to try to lock me up, How is I supposed to be, and like I told y'all, they went and did a statement in the bank 2018 to 2020 and said that I can pay child support based on what my bank statement had in 2018, 2020. And then look, and child support is supposed to be two ways. If you use a bank statement that I had, then you're supposed to use the same bank statement that Michelle had. She was banking at Wells Fargo, and she had more than $10,000 in her bank during the same time period. Now, during the same time period, she had a bank statement that was having way more money than my bank statement had. But they didn't use none of her bank statements to organize child support. So that shows you another prejudice and wickedness thing that they do. But let me let y'all go, and I'm going to get back with y'all with some updated facts.